Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogion Monster here. Welcome to WTF Live. It's Tuesday night. Hope everybody's doing well. See some people in chat. I want to welcome everybody here tonight. Adele Marie, she's coming all the way from Ireland. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce Kathleen's last name. I'm going to say it's Schmall. Thanks for coming. Annie, hi. Micah, what's going on, man? What else we got in here? Chris Jarvis, what's up, dude? Strangeland, hey. Glad you guys are here, man. No plan tonight, as usual. As of late, I have some emails out. I'm trying to get some people on, reaching out to different people. I'm trying to spread out, I think our circle's too small. So it's always good to bring more people into the circle. So I hope you guys, like I said, had a good weekend. Today is my Saturday, I suppose. It's my day off. But I have the next couple days off, so that's cool. Yeah, so if you guys want to come on tonight, that's what I was trying to do, was put up the banner. Email me at monstermogion@gmail.com, and I will send you, email me your address, and I will send you a link. You can come on, hang out with me. Yes, anybody can come on. I think that surprises people, but so yeah, in the meantime, what else is going on with you guys? Everybody good? Everybody healthy, I hope? Let's see what's up in chat. Kathleen, you don't have to lurk. All are welcome. I like to see new faces, especially on, coming on live. If you guys, anybody wants to come on, again, I'll send you the link. But yeah, I want to see some new faces. Nessie, why don't you get your ass on here? Really. Unless, well, New Zealand, I don't know what, there might be an issue there. What's up, Bargo? I see somebody said hi, Andy, but I don't see Andy yet. So there he is. What's up, buddy? Andy, I hope you're feeling better, or better than you were. So yeah, again, if you want to come on, send me your email. Some weird things. I don't know. Shit I've been reading lately. Most of us, I'm assuming most of us here in chat are outdoors people, or we're raised that way. We have a respect for the outdoors, and we were taught to respect it, by our parents, and I don't know what the fuck happened. There's this new breed of people that have been, spawned by this coronavirus that, people need to social distance, and they're doing it in national parks. Numbers like in Sedona, for instance, where I work, our numbers are up. And I assumed that it was the whole town that was up, but I was wrong. I work for a business where people can come and rent a vehicle and get away and social distance, and but not everybody has experience. So accidents happen. People get hurt. Bomber, not Bomber, sorry, hon. Hi, Bomber. Nessie, yeah, they're on. Nice, still young, who knows? People get hurt, and there's just this whole flock of inexperienced people out there that are, decide they want to go camping, and they're from the city, and they buy every little thing they need, and they find some place to go, and you know, they realize it's not what it's cracked up to be. I mean, we love it. I love it, but there was an article somewhere in on online. It said, city people went camping and found it to be gross. Well, it is messy. I mean, but that's part of it. That's part of the fun of getting out there and getting dirty. Um, but these people are just, they're trashing our national parks, our state parks, and I don't understand why. I read another article. These guys were hiking the Appalachian Trail, and they always went up to this one spot where they were going to camp, and it's not far up the trail. And as they peak the summit, to where they're going to camp, usually, on a busy day, there's like five tents. Well, there's like 30 to 40 tents when they get up there, and there's trash everywhere. So, I guess people who normally wouldn't be out there camping, and enjoying the outdoors, city folk or whatever, they're just looking for a release to get out, and some of them don't belong in the woods. Don't if you're going to go out there, don't trash the national parks. And they don't understand is the pack it in, pack it out. We grew up with Smokey the Bear, only you can prevent forest fires, or Woodsy the Owl, give a hoot, don't pollute. We had these things growing up, and some are going to go like, holy shit, I remember that. And we were aware, we had parents that cared. Today these people go out there and they go, they camp, they leave, and it looks like, the aftermath of Woodstock. Oh, for those younger folks, Woodstock was this concert back in 1969 up in New York. Lots of drugs, awesome music. I wasn't there, but yeah. But when it was over, there was a shit ton of garbage. You guys gotta take responsibility. If you're gonna go out there, pack it in, pack it out. Bring it with you. Don't leave that shit behind. Another person in the article said, oh, they should bring more bring more infrastructure to these to the wild areas. Think about that, dumbass. That's why it's called a wild area. There's no infrastructure. It doesn't belong there, and apparently neither should you. You don't belong there either. So anyway, I'm just venting. It's just a shame, and I think you're gonna, since you have this influx of people, this exodus of people going out into the woods and shit, people are going to start seeing things, and hopefully it's the right people that see it, and it keeps them out of the damn woods because they don't belong in there. You know what I mean? Enough people need to be scared just to stay out of the woods. You don't belong there. Bomber, pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. Oh, geez. Digital Underground? No. Is it? Could be. Anyway. Brent Douglas, how's it going, man? Yeah, Brent, people stop. Hold on. And why is that? Why are people not being held responsible for their actions? That's some bullshit right there. I think that, especially, what do they think? There's maids running around the forest that are like just cleaning up after them. House of Pain. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading comments. I don't know, guys. You just, and I know it's not you guys in chat and most of my listeners. You guys, if you're into this, you're into the outdoors. Yeah, Andy says people pollute my fishing holes. Oops, not that one. My fishing holes, lakes, and basins too pisses me off too. And I know, dude, 20 years ago when I was back east, I used to go mountain biking and um I would strap a fishing rod to my mountain bike and I would ride up to this lake. But before I did, at the trailhead, there was a place to get garbage bags. So I would grab like 3 of them, stuff them in my backpack, go do my thing, and I'd fish, and then I'd stop for like 15 minutes, and I'd walk about 20 yards that way, or 20 yards that way, and I would just pick up the garbage, in front of me, behind me, and leave it. I'd pack it out and leave it at the bottom of the trail, or if there was a garbage can near there, or somewhere I thought they'd be picked up, I'd leave it there. But God forbid, people, somebody mentioned, I don't know what I'd do if I went camping with somebody and that's how they behaved. I'd lose my shit. You know, um, you're gonna clean up after yourself, and you should. Anyway, enough of that. So what else is going on, guys? I do want to thank Kerry Arnold for getting in touch with me the other day and asking me to sit in while he was away on his show, Bigfoot Odyssey. That was awesome. I really appreciated that. It was an honor to do that. Meeting D Doss was cool. It's it's funny because somebody made a comment in chat and they said, Mogs, why are you so quiet? And I'm a Bigfoot enthusiast. So when I'm surrounded by knowers, sometimes you got to realize it's when to shut your mouth and just listen. and that's really where I was at the other night is I was listening and trying to learn, because that's some fascinating shit. Those are like, it was cool. So Kerry, thank you again. Just gonna check out Isaac. What's up, buddy? Hey, Pam. Ray, hi. Great to see you. Michael Rice. How are you, buddy? Paul, good to see you. So yeah, guys, you guys anybody want to pop in, please send me your email and I will send you a link and we'll get you on. I might even put you know what? Let's see if this is going to work. We'll put the email in the chat. I mean, the link in the chat. I know we've tried this before and it didn't work, but shit. I'm going to write it down and then copy it. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. Dude. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to copy this. Silence. I get lost. No, I can't do it that way. Anyway, let me write this down real quick. So I will put the link in chat. Let's see if this works. So, guys, anything you want to talk about? throw it out there in comments in chat. Questions. All right. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to post this chat link. I can't see shit in here. Am I getting too close to the camera yet? Sorry, guys. It's just I gotta put this in right because the last time I might have screwed up and like put an I in where a one was supposed to be or something. All right. Let's see. Anybody want to click on this and test this? Huh. Annie's asking Mogai, I'm not completely familiar with the story of the Mogollon monster. Do you have a story? Why do I feel like Duke's behind this? You know what? I don't have any what do you call it? Encounter stories. The Mogollon monster is just a Bigfoot that's up on the Mogollon Rim who there's been reports up to as recent as 2 years ago. This Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization or whatever it is, they with Shaw, Kelly Shaw. They were up there about 2 years ago, and there were reports up there as recent as 2 years ago. So I haven't seen one yet. I'm not opposed to it. So did anybody check to see if that link worked? Let me know. Even if you just come on, test it and bounce, it's up to you. I just need someone to test it for me. Chopper, what's going on, man? Hey, Murray. Hey, Kevin, what's going on, buddy? Arizona Squatch. How you been, man? Has anybody tried to click on that link yet? Did not work. That's what okay. Did not work. I don't understand why. So in that case, hold on. Huh. Thanks, Smith. Smith with no name. Thank you, man. If you want to come on, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and email me at monstermogollon@gmail.com. And I'll send you the link, and we'll do it that way. I know it's just a matter of time, so I'm not really sweating it because I have nothing to say. I don't have 2 hours worth of shit to say. Or an hour's worth of shit. Yeah, there were some interesting shows on this weekend. I enjoyed actually Carrie's show on I don't even know when the hell I filled in Friday. The show on Saturday was pretty good. Hang on there, Kev. Let me it's on its way, Kev. No, I didn't, dude. It's just that the nights are starting to get cooler. Andy asked if I got an AC unit in here. I mean, the room is only, it's probably 8 by 11. And all I need is the what's behind me, the space. I take up little space in this little room but yeah, no, it's cooled off, so it's better in here. Thanks for asking, though. Excuse me. So if you're new here tonight, and you're watching, be sure to hit that subscribe, button, and check out some other shows, past shows. What's crazy, guys, is this is show number 21. I mean, how the fuck did that happen? 21 shows. That's crazy. Yeah. Sorry. Get caught up in a comment. Yeah, I'm just amazed that the 21 live shows already. That went by quick, and I don't know how the hell we're doing it. This is awesome. I'll be sure to give you my address. Yo, Ben, what's up, buddy? Hey, Ben, man, you didn't get to get on the show the other night. You want to come on? I got Kevin coming on. I can email you. I'll send you the link. It's up to you, man. I felt bad the other night, the one night you left. I really couldn't. I wanted to cut people off to say hi or whatever, and you bounced. Yeah, I'll send you a link, dude. If you want to use it, use it. I'm not gonna bring a lot of people on. I'm not going more than 2 guests because it just gets a little stressful. It's not easy being a one-man band, but it's fun. Let's see. All right, Ben, that's on its way. Like I said, if you want to use it, use it. It's up to you. But yeah, I'm only gonna get like 2 people on at once, and this guy, you guys can get more attention, and nobody's getting, left behind as far as in one person's talking. All right, there's Kevin coming on in here in a second. I gotta find that. Scroll back and get rid of that. All right. Well, I got to put my headphones on. Hey, what's up, Kev?
Hey, not much. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can.
All right, cool.
I'm hearing
Hey,
an echo.
the oh wow, I'm getting.
I'm hearing an echo. Do you?
Hold on.
Let's,
Let me. I know why. There we go. I still have the YouTube channel opened up.
because
AST.
I was wondering why it was delayed. It was like a delayed echo. I was like, oh, that was a neat trick.
Yeah. Well, we call that AST, Arizona Squatch Technology. I don't have it. But no. The one person who had questioned what is the Mogollon monster, I know the whole history on it. So what happened?
Of course you would.
Yeah,
I mean, I know some of the stories, but you know, I know the Mogollon were originally a prehistoric tribe of Indians that lived in that area.
uh-uh.
No, that's what I read it. I mean, so
um,
it must be
no,
true. It was
no,
online.
yeah,
You're telling
no,
me everything online isn't true?
not even close.
Oh
No,
shit! There goes my paradigm.
yeah. No, Mogollon is the last name of one of the um, early Spanish, high-to-do guys that lived in the New Spanish country, which is what half of what the United States is. Um, he probably, and I can't think of his first name, but he probably has never been to Arizona. But being that it was such an important person, and I want stuff named after me. I think there's a Mogollon Mountain in New Mexico as well. Um, but yeah, it did.
So
It
sort
did.
of like Montezuma this,
Yeah,
Montezuma
yeah,
that.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
because Montezuma's.
Um,
I mean, that name goes all the way up to Utah, where there's Montezuma's something or other.
yeah,
And Montezuma never made it up this far north.
no, no, but so the Mogollon Rim. I don't know what they called it prior to naming it after the Spanish guy. You know what the Indians called the natives called it or anything like that. Um, but so fast forward, it was either 1946 or 1947 in the area of Christopher Creek. Some Boy Scouts were doing an overnighter and they were going in to change out um, like
So a weather station.
yeah, something for a weather station,
Yeah.
one of the paper rolls or something. Um, that night, they had what they described as a very foul smelling, hairy bipedal creature come into the camp. Went through a bunch of their stuff, ate most of their food, their pancake mix and stuff like that. As soon as it got light out, they left, went back into the town of Payson, and they described this monster, and they really didn't have a name for him prior to that, so they just started calling him the Mogollon Monster. But the stories go way back with the Mormon settlers in that area of Arizona, all the way over to like Show Low and that.
What's up,
Uh,
Duke? Sorry.
that's all right. So the Mormon settlers had some encounters, and
Oh no, there's
yeah,
even
yeah,
a story in the Book of Mormon
yeah, yeah,
about a Bigfoot.
yeah. But going back to native, local native oral traditions. They were well aware of them. They traded with them, and they from time to time got help from them. But so the Mogollon monster, like you were saying, that's just uh, the popular the popular name for Bigfoot in Arizona is the Mogollon monster. Um, You know, growing up as a kid and hearing stories of the Mogollon Monster, we never equated it to Bigfoot because Bigfoot lived in the Pacific Northwest. You know, not
Yeah.
not in the mountains of Arizona. And when we had our first
or anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so when I had my first encounter as a young Boy Scout, you know, one of the reasons I was so terrified was because, you know, we were under the impression this is a monster and we were going to be eaten alive, and you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, well, that's like me growing up with the history and the legend of the Jersey Devil.
Yeah,
You know, and I grew up in the 70s. You know, basically where the town I grew up in was like at the very top. It was probably not even part of the Pine Barrens, but it was the same, you know, forest, same trees. And yeah, that was weird, you know, growing up as a kid and seeing a newspaper article, you know, bringing it up, and like, you know, and I was always outdoors. I was always in the woods. I was never home. I was fishing,
right.
crabbing, whatever. So yeah, then you see an article and you're like, you know, you're 10 years old and you're like, oh shit, you know, like, you know, this thing's still around.
Well, you know, and you know, one of the things that, you know, caused a lot of fear with us was, you know, I think it was like 4 or 5 years before this, maybe not that long, but I don't remember when the movie came out, but The Legend of Bogey Creek. And, you know, as a kid, you know, that scared the hell out of me. And, you know, so when I had my first encounter, you know, this is the kind of stuff that I already have pre-programmed into my head that, you know, I'm dealing with, you know, with something that's going to kill me. And
I really have to break down and watch that movie.
You've never seen it?
No.
Wow. Well, I watched it probably 2 years ago. I looked it up and watched it, and I was like, man, this thing's cheesy. What the hell was I so afraid of? But you know, you got to remember the times.
It's a cult classic, though.
Yeah, but you know, and it made back in the 70s, and
you know, it's up there with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
right?
Maybe not that cult, but yeah, no, I see it advertised. I'll have to go on. I'll have to look through like Netflix or something, or I'll find it. I'll rent it and I'll watch it. I just haven't had. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't watched it.
Yeah, you need to watch it.
I'm just looking through chat, guys. If you have any questions, feel free. You know, throw them out there. Please put them in caps. Also, be sure, you know, hit that like button. Again, if you're new, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Share, and if you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. You know, the notifications. Put it to all so you'll get notified. Because I see people have not been getting notified. And I've been slacking. I haven't been putting out any like, you know, videos like promoting shows. It's just like I you know, I don't have anything planned, so there's not much to promote, so we'll just swing it like we normally do.
And I think either the 5th or the 6th of October, I'm taking off, going back up to Squatch Camp until Sunday, or actually Saturday. I got to be home Saturday morning for a grandkid's birthday party. But yeah, I'm looking.
So what is that? A Monday you're going up, or is it?
It's either going to be a summer. It might be Monday because I got to come home on Saturday and.
Yeah, the 5th is Monday.
Yeah. So I was planning on staying up there a little bit longer, but you know, I have so many grandkid birthdays in the month of October. It's hard for me to get out, but you know, while the weather's still semi good, I want to get up there and you know have some more encounters. You know,
Sure.
It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, I'd love to get up there. I probably have the time to do it. I just don't have the transportation to do it. My father is going. Normally, I would just have him. You know, we'd go up and go camping. You know.
Yeah.
And Well, you met him.
Oh yeah.
But he's going to Florida. Him and my sister's from Jersey. He's going to meet him down there, and they're going to go out do the whole, Disneyland or Universal. My cousin works down there for like he built like the whole Hogwarts, Diagon Alley attraction down there, and right now he's in China. I guess they're building a park there too, and I think he's in Beijing.
Well, that's
Hold on. I misquoted. It's when I said, and thank you for correcting me, Bill. The Bigfoot thing is not. It's not in the Book of Mormon. It's part of Mormon lore.
it's in one of Joseph Smith's writings.
Okay.
That I know for. I couldn't tell you which one it was. I've read it. Up until the time I was about 18 years old, I was a Mormon. I was born into it.
Okay.
And very, very well aware of that story.
Right on.
Yeah, it's one of his personal writings. He's got, just a mess load of them, but that's neither here nor there. So.
Well, no, it was just interesting, when you had mentioned the Mormons. I knew there was a story out there with a Bigfoot in it, and that's pretty fascinating.
yeah. One of the stories that Chuck has been working on uncovering, and he's done a real good job of it so far, is that some of the first Mormon settlers, got into it with a family of Bigfoot, and so they wrote letters to Salt Lake. Brigham Young sent down the militia, and they went in, tracked them all down, killed all of them except for one, but he got injured in the foot, and so he had, the foot got infected, and got a little deformed, so they started calling him Old Clubfoot. And over the years, that story has kind of morphed into Old Clubfoot was just a bear, was a grizzly bear. But the original families up there and the original stories that come from it, it was a family of Bigfoots. Now, talking about a militia coming in and tracking them down and killing all but one of them, I find that extremely difficult to swallow, only because my experiences with them and knowing their abilities and how fast they are, and the fact that they can be right in front of you and you won't even know it. Stories like that, I have a hard time swallowing. I'm not going to say it's absolute false, because I just don't know. But all I can speak on is my experience with them, and watching one completely vanish in front of me. When I never took my eye off him, got about 60 feet away from him, and he just vanished. I don't see how somebody can track something like that down. I just don't.
No, I don't see that either. Just it still baffles me that it does that.
Yeah. Well, you ought to try and see it, and then try to come to grips with it.
Sure.
It's so much of this stuff is.
Yeah, that would kind of suck, man. Like seeing it for the first time, and like your paradigm shifting, and then it disappears, and you're like, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I can't say that about the first one I saw. The first one I saw was October 1st of 2017, and
you got an anniversary coming up.
Yeah, I was wanting to be up there for that, but I got too much stuff going on right now, setting in a new garden and everything. But Yeah, it's just at times very impossible to deal with in the head if you try and sit there and use the traditional scientific, theories and methods and stuff. It doesn't fit in that, and you just can't wrap your head around it, even when it happens to you. It's like how does this happen?
Sure.
Yeah, and the only thing I'm left with the answer with is it just is. We don't know anything near what we think we know. I dived into quantum physics, quantum mechanics for probably a year and a half, and that a lot of that's above my pay grade and made my brain hurt. And it's like, I'm burning the candle at both ends, and when it gets to the middle, the brain's going to go. And so I kind of gave up on the whole, the
quantum side of it.
Yeah, well, not giving up the quantum side of it, because it has to do with quantum, but when you start getting into the mathematic formulas,
oh yeah,
it's just so far above my pay grade that I can't discern mathematically whether that's a true equation or whether it's not a true equation. So it leaves me relying on somebody else saying that yes, this mathematical equation is accurate, so thus it has to be. Well, then I'm taking somebody else's word for it instead of being able to prove it for myself. As far as what the theories discuss, it makes absolute perfect sense when it comes to multidimensional possibilities, and and that's the hard part. To get your head wrapped around.
Sure, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to cope with.
So I keep going out looking for more answers, and anytime I think I have an answer to something, I end up with about 500 more questions. So
of course. Well, I give you tons of credit for spending the time that you do out there and the research that you do. I mean, you spend people. If you guys don't know, this guy's out there like
I'm
hundreds of hours.
I'm well over 6,000 hours in 3 years.
That's a commitment. That's impressive. Yeah. Jamie Harms, hi. Anybody else? Hilton, what's up, buddy? Sorry. I gravitate towards chat.
Yeah, no, not a problem. But what I was saying about, or getting ready to say about the hours, my goal is I want to hit 10,000 hours out in the field. And I was trying to get that done in a 5-year period. And, because there's an old thing that says if you're a master musician, you have to put in at least 10,000 hours. If you're going to be, considered a professional at something, an expert at something, there's with the outliers, there's a time frame of 10,000 hours minimum that somebody puts into something before they become a professional at it. And I'd use the word expert, and I hate using the word expert in this field because there are no experts. I don't care how long you've been doing this. If some of these guys who've been doing this research for 50 years, that call themselves experts but yet have never seen one. How can you call yourself an expert?
Sure.
Or somebody who's seen one and heard a couple of knocks and recorded a few howls. That's not an expert. And and I by no means am an expert. I'm
No,
very well.
nobody's an expert. I
Yeah,
mean, there are people that have a little more knowledge than others, but you know, how people are writing books on this subject baffles me. I mean, it's just because it's speculation. If you're looking at it a skeptic's point of view, you know, it's just like,
yeah.
okay, I don't know.
Well, there's probably going to be a book somewhere in my future.
Well,
You
you've
know,
had some experiences that are worth writing about.
yeah, and you know, I think a big portion of that book is just going to be all my notes on everything that has happened. I haven't been so good about doing my notes this year, um, but for the first 2 years, um, I wrote down almost everything that I could remember that would happen. You know, keeping a daily diary while I'm up there, and I kind of, you know, dropped the ball on it this year because when we were at Crazy Town at the beginning of the year, we had so much stuff happen. And, you know, me sitting there trying to remember the details of all the stuff that happened, I said to myself, well, I'll just go back to the audio and listen to the audio, and then I can, you know, transcribe what we recorded on the audio, because there's not an experience that we don't have, whether it's something we smell, something we taste, something we feel, something we see. You know, we speak out loud. You know, our one of the things we joke about, you know, especially if we have somebody new come up with us, is you know, don't be afraid to speak and say everything you're experiencing. I don't care if your butt itches, tell us what's going on, you know, because that's what Chuck and I do. And when I'm up there by myself, you know, I'm constantly talking because I got the audio recorder on, um, you know, to to be able to back up, you know, the experiences that we're having. So I decided that, you know, well, at the end of the year, I can sit down and, you know, when I have plenty of time on my hands, you know, once winter gets here and I'm not spending any time up north, that, you know, I can pull out the audio and just start and get that done. But that'll probably be a big part of the book is, you know, probably a good chapter or two would be just on those transcribed notes.
Yeah, it would be at least a chapter or two. Shit. So I mean, 10,000 hours in 5 years. That's kind of a. Think you make it, or gonna take a little longer?
Uh, well, as long as things don't fall apart for us all, yeah, yeah. It's not a matter. Do I think I'll make it? I'll know I'll make it. You know, because I had the goal this year of spending 120 days out in the field this year, and that would have been up a good portion of that. But you know, I had to make some uh, changes to my plans that I had set as far as my dates that I was going to be going out, because it was actually going to be I was going to be out for 2 weeks, come home for 4 days, go out for a week, come home for 4 days, go out for 2 weeks. And I was going to do that all the way through until I hit my 120 days. And yeah, I just couldn't make it happen this year.
So 10,000 hours, man. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah. Oh, you know,
I didn't realize like that's what it took as far as like master mechanics or whatever. That was the goal. That was the, you know, the bar was 10,000 hours.
Yeah. You know, because I want to be credible in my own, you know, excuse me, in my own mind, you know, because I've had a lot of people I've talked to that, you know, no, it can't be like that. And I'm like, well, how much time have you spent out in the field? Oh, I go out once or twice a year.
All right. Yeah, but I mean, it sounds impressive, but it's more, you know, it is for yourself. I mean, it's, it is a lot of hours. I mean, it is impressive. But some people be like, yeah, so I mean, it's not like it's accredited,
No,
and to you it is. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, it's a personal thing for me,
Yeah, yeah.
and when I
It's a
hit
good
it,
goal, man. It's
yeah.
it's admirable. I mean, go for it. I think it's great. Audrey and Jamie, it takes 10,000 hours to be considered an expert in any field. Anybody else? Sawdust, what's up, buddy? Hey, Sawdust, if you're feeling froggy, you want to come on, say hi. I'm not putting a lot of people on. I'm going to have 2 people on at most, and just I think Ben might stop in, but I can send that link. It's weird, Kevin, just because of your type of experiences that are hard for me to, and I've been there. I've seen your camp. I know what everything looks like, and the area is awesome. But just that whole woo factor, and
well,
I believe you. I believe it. It's just that's the one. I always wanted the flesh and blood thing, and then all of a sudden you get this other side of it, and you're like, oh crap, now what? What what is this all about?
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. When this was all first happening, and I made my report with BFRO, up until that point in time, it was just a flesh and blood thing for me. And when Chuck and I had met for the first time, and we went back up to what I now call Squatch Camp, where all this stuff happened on our family outing. He asked me the most simple question: "What do you know about Bigfoot?" And I'm like, "Well, honestly, I don't know much. I know they're real." And so he started explaining to me, the different groups, the different camps inside the Bigfoot community, and the ones that think they're just an ape, and others that think they're just the flesh and blood. And I go, well, I don't for a minute think they're an ape. I've seen the Patterson Gimlin film. That's not an ape. That's a two-legged being. And and then he starts telling me about the woo, and I'm like, what a bunch of fucking crackpots. He's like, well, just wait a minute. If you're going to get into this field, the best advice I can give you is keep an open mind. And I'm like, but what is this woo stuff? And ask the question, get the answers, or things that make you ask more questions.
I didn't listen to Nessie. Nessie said stop pushing buttons, and that's what happens.
No, what I was saying is that when Chuck had said then there's the woo, and I was like, well, what the fuck is that? And he explains it, and I'm like, what a bunch of fucking crackpots. And he says, wait a minute, if this is something you're going to get into, I highly suggest that you keep an open mind. And I'll tell you, at this point in time, Chuck absolutely was not in the woo. Chuck had been a field investigator for the BFRO for 5 years at that point, had been doing research for probably 7 years at that point. And, he didn't buy into the woo. And, after everything we've been through, he's, it took him a while to say that he was in the woo. He rode the fence for a while because he just didn't want to make that leap.
Yeah, but the experiences he had with you guys up there, I mean,
yeah,
how could you not, how could you deny the woo,
Yeah. Well, when you have what I refer to as a shimmering image or a distortion, standing 5 feet in front of you, and you can clearly see what it is, but at the same time, there's nothing there. And then he turns around and watches it walk away, or sees a lot of people call them orbs. I call them little twinkle lights because they're just these little pinpointed like really bright LEDs that'll pop on and pop off. Well, he had one come out from either out of a tree or from behind a tree that was about 5 feet in front of him, came up to within about an inch of his nose and zapped the hell out of him.
I heard everything I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
inch of his nose, zapped the hell out of him. Got it.
Yeah, and what do you do with that? And back to what you were saying, it's one of the things that I started saying from the very get-go when all this weird stuff started happening is, how in the hell can you possibly describe to somebody else what this is like, unless they're physically experiencing it? Is it's I like to give the analogy. It's like trying to describe the color blue to somebody who's been blind from birth. It's you can't do it. You can't bring it across properly. Do the best we can, and I just leave it at that.
I'm looking at chat. I'm listening.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
Dave.
all right.
It's not like I'm reading my phone or everything. Somebody ragged me out one day for reading my phone. Said I wasn't paying attention.
I just thought you were going like the squirrel.
No, Patrick says he knows the secret why I wear a bandana, and I'm curious as to why too. So do tell. Hold up the eyebrows. Dude, it just covers them up. I'd have more expressions if I wasn't wearing the bandana. You would see the eyebrows raised all the time. Mm-hmm. No, I know, buddy. You're just playing. Smith, hold on. Woo is a term equivalent to conspiracy theory and is commonly used deliberately to shut down investigation or discussion of a given subject. I think that used to be the case, and now it's not so much, because apparently there's more woo involved in more shit than we realized. So it's I know woo was like the F word of the the Bigfoot world. Nobody liked to hear that. Ooh. Or that's the sound that the UFO made. Woo 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 woo.
Yeah.
But you know what? You have to be open-minded in this, and I struggled with it. Trying to let go of just that flesh and blood, and not let go of it, but expand my thinking when it came to it, and really, it's not easy to think about, the woo factor. I mean, and I come from paranormal. I mean, which is weird. But there's certain things that I don't think are woo that I'm sure they're capable of, like mind speak or telepathy. To me, that's not woo. That's just it. That's natural. As far as cloaking and stuff, I don't know. But the stuff you're seeing is it. Are they even Bigfoot?
Well, no, their foots are proportional to the size of them, so No,
I walked right into that one.
my name's Daryl.
I'll be playing here all week.
Yeah.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Yeah. Yeah, there was something I was going to say right before you said that, and no, that's all right. If it went south, it's south. If it comes back, it'll come back.
Maybe Mogs is kind of like Hercules. If you cut his hair off, he'll lose his moginess. It wasn't Hercules. That was Samson.
Yeah.
With the hair.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to correct you. Well, yes, actually, I did mean to correct you, Ness. So.
Yeah, Hercules Yeah, he didn't have the hair thing.
No, that was Samson.
Yeah. Not to say Hercules didn't have hair. I'm sure he did.
Jamie Harms, that Mogollon monster. Your power comes from the bandana. What power?
The power of voodoo. What voodoo? You do what? Remind me of the babe.
Let's see. Hey, BTW. I know they are flesh and blood. Right on, dude. Let's see. I'm just, guys, if you got chat questions in chat, put them in caps, please. Wow, we got 65 people watching this train wreck. Just kidding.
Right. No, and I remember now what I was going to say, because you said about cloaking, and I absolutely 100% despise that term. It's I know
Well,
I know it's the term that they use to describe it, but the issue with it is the moment you say cloaking, you start thinking Predator, you start thinking sci-fi movies, and that automatically starts triggering something in the brain to go, that's just Hollywood type stuff.
where did they get it?
I could do a whole show
I'm
on
sure.
on that, but no, it's the person has to understand how light works and why we see what we see and what our eyes are capable of seeing, and having to do with vibrations and frequencies, and and once again, here we are diving back into quantum physics, but it has that appearance to where it's real easy for somebody to say that, oh yeah, he cloaked. Well, he's not going do on his arm and cloaking or something like that. It's nothing like that. You're driving down the road and you see the heat coming, heat waves coming up off of the road, and you get that that distortion, and that's more of what it looks like.
Strangeland asks, where is your camping area located and what experience kept you going there from the start?
Okay, I have 4 different locations that I use. My primary location that I call Squatch Camp, that just happened to be where basically all this started, from a family camping trip in June of 2017, after finding footprints and getting wood knocks and stuff like that. Other locations that I've used are one of them is a known hot spot in the community here in Arizona. Another location that I started using is just an area I stumbled upon and just had a really good feeling about it, and that's Hilltop 91, and
I like that camp.
Yeah,
cool camp, good location.
And phenomenal stuff happens there. And the last location that I go to, we call Crazy Town. There's one of the big Arizona researchers who has passed now, Mitch Waite.
Yeah.
Crazy Town is his old research area. We stayed out of it for about 2 years after he died, because we didn't know if his son or grandkids or anybody was going to pick up where he left off, and apparently they didn't. So we started going there and immediately having, we named it Crazy Town. The stuff that we had happen there is just so crazy.
So Bjorn Olfactory asked, have you heard of the rock ape stories from Vietnam?
Yes.
What do you know about it? I've heard them. I've heard the stories too.
I don't know much about them as far as the community goes. A friend of mine who's deceased now, I was a Vietnam vet. You know, and being a veteran and a veterans organization that I used to belong to was primarily Vietnam veterans. And, you know, he told me the only experience he had, and he was a point man, and he heard something, and he looked farther down the trail, and he saw this short, hairy guy step out, do some kind of motion to him, and then disappear into the jungle. And, you know, so that's the only personal account I've heard.
Yeah.
One-on-one, you know, other than, you know, things that have been talked about on like History Channel and some of those other programs like that. But yeah, I'm very familiar with the Rock Ape, you know, and their existence.
You know, thanks. Hey, BTW, if you want to come on, dude, if you email me or, hold on. That would be too weird if this was actually right on. All right. No, I just Sawdust Beast is going to join us here in a little bit. I was going to say, BTW, I see you got a story. You want to share it? You can wait another night. I'll be here Thursday night. I'm glad you're here tonight. You can come on tonight and, you know, tell your story. It's up to you. Sawdust Beast is going to be here in a couple minutes. So BTW, if you want to come on, email me your email address and I will send you a link, and you click on that and just follow the directions, and it's simple. And we can talk about it. You can tell your story if you want. If not, you know, just say no thanks. It's all good. We won't hold it against you. Bomber might, but I'm cool with it, you know. Stan, what's up, buddy?
And I can't remember the name of the guy that I think you've had him on here twice now. Vietnam vet, and if he's watching, I just want to say welcome home, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just got I found a POW MIA flag I'm going to put up behind me somewhere. Just, you know, it's, I joined the Navy when I was like 17, 18, but I had a bad back. I didn't know I had scoliosis. So, you know, I didn't stick around. You know, I got like 6 weeks in a boot camp and then waited 6 weeks to get out. But I tried.
And you haven't cut your hair since then, right?
Nope. No.
No,
I always had short hair. And then when I guess I was around 27, I guess it was right after I split up my first marriage, I was like, not cutting my hair. And I cut it a couple times, but I should be cutting it because it won't grow any longer. It's split ends and bad hair day.
Yeah, before I joined, I could reach back behind me and grab.
Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel an argument coming on. In what writing of Joseph Smith do you talk about an encounter? Sorry to bring it up again, Bell.
I want to say it's in one of the history of the church volumes. You know, I'm trying to remember back 30 plus years, probably 35 years since I read it. But I think it's in one of the volumes of the history of the church, and every Mormon church has a library at the church, and, you know, all the volumes that have been written about the history of the church. I'll you know what? I will talk to my sister. You know, she's still active in the church, and if she doesn't know off the top of her head, I know her husband will, and I can find that information.
Right on.
But the story was he was walking, you know, walking through the forest, and trying to pull memory from that long ago. But a big hairy, and I think if I remember right, he referred to it as a demon. But I'm not. Don't quote me on that, please. That's just what's tickling the brain right
I
now.
don't know. I thought I heard this recently. I thought the guy was on horseback, and he was walking along, and the thing was walking alongside him. It was the same height as him on horseback.
That's possible. I know he was going through a wooded area.
Yeah.
You know, trying to pull all the details out of it from 30 plus years ago.
No, it's all good. But thanks for asking, Bill.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I will see if I can find that for you.
Want to say hi to Pappy? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Pappy.
Donna Stokes, D. Bunch of new people. Richie, Cashew. Right on. Tony, how's it going, man? How you feeling, man? Hope you're doing good. You and your wife. Lynn Parsons. I was a cadaver dog. You know what? Hold on, dude. Lynn Parsons says, I was a cadaver dog handler in Iraq for 3 years in a POW MIA mission. It was a very rewarding gig. Thank you, Lynn, for your service and
yes, thank you.
Doing that. That's God bless you.
Yeah, welcome home.
Let's see, Oh, okay. So, oops. Just when I think I'm like clicking on the right one, it moves. So Belle says, thank you. She's related to Joseph Smith, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about 95% confident it's in the one of the volumes of the history of the church, but I'll look it up.
Oh shit! I got to send out a link. Hold on, I forgot about it.
Headband's too tight.
Actually, it's kind of loose.
Tighten it up then. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
All right, I just got to put in this email address.
No worries. I can sit here patiently.
I'll make some noise so they're not bored.
Afro Circus.
Oh, that's funny.
I have too many grandkids. Well, I don't have too many, but I've got a lot of grandkids.
Mark, it's on its way. Afro Circus. I remember that.
From Madagascar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 12 and a half grandkids.
Jenny, thank you. She's like, you have beautiful locks. Joey Hayes, what's up? Let's see who else. So yeah, I just sent Sawdust Beast. Hold on. Megan Richardson, question. Love that sweet black headband and that red wife beater your guest has. Real squatchy, just Bigfoot wear wife beaters. I didn't even notice. Are you wearing a wife beater, dude?
No, it's not a wife beater. It's just a
Oh no, it's just sleeveless.
sleeveless shirt.
No, Micah wears wife beaters. Sorry, buddy. I still think that's funny that you wore that on the show. It was cool. You know, hey, we're laid back. That was laid back.
But it is one of my squatching shirts. You know, one of the things that Mitch used to do that I adopted was
To wear red.
Is to wear a red shirt every time he gets out, and at the beginning I thought it meant something, and you know, and now it's like they don't care what color you're wearing. But you know, you get into the habit of doing something and you just keep doing it.
Cryptoville, did I miss a question? I'm sorry, buddy. Let me scroll back. Maybe I missed a question. You're not being annoying. Nobody's annoying. Oh, wait. Here we go. This is for you. Cryptoville wants to know, have you ever seen any cryptid creature in the middle of the process of cloaking? We know you don't like cloaking, so...
Yeah. You know. Well, a little earlier in the show, I had talked about I watched one disappear in front of me.
Yeah.
You know, he went from there to not being there. If you want to call that in the process of cloaking, I mean, that's probably about as close as anybody's going to get. You know, what the situation was I was at Hilltop 91, and I have a recreation video on my YouTube channel. It was about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I was sitting at the entrance to the camp where I always sit, and I heard a pretty good branch break, and I looked over, and it's pretty dense part of the trees. It's real dark in there, and I was looking over in there, and I'm like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? And I could see if what I at the time I thought I was looking at a figure standing there, and I kind of out loud said, "I think I can see you." You know, I said it loud enough to where he would have heard me. And then he started rocking back and forth like this, and I was like, "Okay, I'm not looking at shadows." And I said, "I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk over to you." And I stood up. I never blinked. I never took my eyes off him, and I walked directly towards him, and I got about 60 feet away from him, and he just vanished. So, you know, that's the best answer I can give you. So, I guess I could say yes. I saw one in the in the process of cloaking or cloaked or however you want to describe it. My answer to that is he was standing there and he disappeared in front of him. So
Jenny Metz asks, when daylight savings time happens, are cryptids more active earlier? If they're Arizona cryptids, no, because we do not change the clocks.
Exactly.
So,
and that's what I was here we don't worry about that. Our clocks don't change. So
awesome. Let's see. Ettery is in New York. Yeah, you guys are getting rain up there. Geez, you know, that storm is crazy. That's going this morning. It was at like the Gulf of Mexico, from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to like Hudson Bay. Right now, it's just basically the whole eastern seaboard from Florida to like Nova Scotia. That's a huge storm. Did you watch that at all?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, and it's, you know, it's storms like that could like just push off the coast a little bit and pick up some moisture and turn into a nor'easter, like real easy. I just think, you know, we've had enough shit going on in this year, and we don't need all this crazy weather. Boodle man. Shit.
I've never seen a dog man, so I have no opinion on it.
I have no desire to either.
I've seen some people that look like dogs. I've seen people that were dogs, but I've seen dogs that were more.
All right, I completely, dude. Mark, I'm sorry if you've been sitting there for a long time. I just like look down, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. How y'all fellas doing?
Awesome,
Hey,
awesome.
If I was doing any better, it would be a holiday.
Hold on. Let's Bjorn has. Do you think these beings will at some point do a mass reveal or some similar event to expose the truth? No.
I have no idea. I have no idea. They do what they do when they do it. That's all I can tell you.
Just wanted to get that question out there. Thanks, Bjorn. So what's going on your end? Anything new over there?
Well, we're getting ready for our meet and greet.
That's the 5th, 6th, or 6th, 10th. I saw the.
It's Halloween weekend. It's like
Halloween. That's
the 29th through November the 1st.
And that's an LBL?
It's at LBL. Of course, if you never heard of LBL, only thing you got to do is Google Beast of LBL.
Or Land Between the Lakes. I mean, for those who don't know what it stands for.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So what are you having? A camp out or?
Yeah. We've had a lot of people ask us, that they wanted to come and just hang out. I call our chat room the Dog Pound. Yeah, because they just, it's almost like there's two shows going on at one time.
There are, and every same here. What's going on in chat is separate than what's going on between you and me.
Yeah, and you've got all these people that have really become good friends, and they talk online, offline, and they just wanted to get together, and really, I'm honored that people asked us to have one, and the way that I look at it is I'm there to serve, and whatever these people want, if they want to go fishing, I'll take them fishing. If they want to go squirrel hunting, I'll take them squirrel hunting. If they want to see some of the places that's on our videos, I'll be more than happy to take them there. I know Kumbo Baker took me to where supposedly the killing happened, the Beast of LBL killing. And so if people want to go see that spot.
That was the family in the trailer?
The family, yeah.
They found a kid in the tree.
Yeah, and I can show you. Now, I'm saying supposedly because I wasn't there. But I can show you that the tree where Kumbo showed me where the little girl's body was at. And it's really strange. You go there and you look there and it's right off what they call the trace, the main highway that goes north and south. And you see it and you think, man, this is so close, to the trace. How could something like this happen? And it's really pretty amazing. And just to see it and just to be there, and it really don't make no sense at all why they shut this campground down. Because
you mean after the fact?
After the fact, because it was. It was made for these huge RVs to come in there and park, and you can still see the conduit coming up out of the ground. Yeah, for the hookups. And
they shut it down.
And they shut it down. We have gone live there a couple of times, and it's kind of humorous because we carried Dan, Ricky, and Vicky Fulcher up there, some other people, and so me and Larry got out and we started walking, and we probably walked about a half a mile away from where the Jeep was. And Larry had one headlamp, and I didn't even bring a headlamp. I didn't even know we were going to be out after dark. And so, we tromped around in them woods, and I don't know. I really don't have a lot of fear when I'm in the woods, and it may be just because I'm stupid.
I'm the same way, so I guess I'm just as stupid.
And but if something could change, and I could have,
it just hasn't happened with me yet.
Right. You hear about these seasoned deer hunters that they live for deer hunting, and then all of a sudden they spot a booger, in the woods, and they never go deer hunting again.
Self-preservation,
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to this camp out, and I'm going to tell you, anybody is welcome to come. Only thing that, just contact us. You can go to our Facebook page, you can go to our YouTube page, and just say you're interested in coming. And
I'll post. I'm terrible at this. I say I'll do it, and I'll get on myself to do it. But I'll post a link, in the description below, after the show. I think that's cool. I would love to go check out a conference or something. Just something in the Bigfoot community, or just to see what it's about. See the different people, and I just think it'd be cool.
How close are you to the Four Corners?
A couple hours.
Yeah, you're probably 4 hours.
Because I know, I guess a couple of years ago, I spoke at Brenda Harris's.
She's in New Mexico.
In New Mexico, in Farmington, and when I went there, I just fell in love with the Navajo people there. Just fell in love with them, and Brenda was gracious enough to, let us stay on the reservation, and it was funny during the conference. She came up to me and she says, "Mark, don't tell nobody, but tonight I'm going to take you up on the mountain." And so there was like 2 cars of us, because we had a little entourage that went into New Mexico, and she's, and I said, I got dibs to ride with Brenda, because I just wanted to be able to spend as much time with her as I could. And it was probably an hour drive to get up on the mountain. And it was like, she'd say, look over there. She goes, "This is where so-and-so happened." And she would tell the story. And by the time she would finish the story, and she goes, "Oh, and right over here, this is what happened to this family over here." And it was just, I will never forget it. And it's the only time that I've ever filmed what I believe is a booger on a thermal.
And that was with Brenda.
And that was with Brenda.
Now,
that's awesome.
What area were you in? Were you in Chinle?
Oh, I don't know the names.
Excuse me.
But I know that it was on the res up on top of a mountain.
Okay.
And it's where her account of her and her sister were up there, and her sisters kind of started freaking out, and so they just started throwing stuff in the Jeep. And then when Brenda tried to take off, something was lifting up her bumper, and her wheels were just spinning, but they wasn't going nowhere. And amazing story.
That would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody was having fun with them.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see going into the woods armed. Not if my intention is to seek out or see one of these things. I just couldn't do it. I mean,
yeah, I'm
not opposed to guns. Second Amendment. I'm all for it. Doesn't mean I won't be armed.
Yeah.
I'll have a blade or two on me, but what the hell's that going to do?
I will tell you, most of the time, I'm not armed. I do like for somebody, let's say there's 3 of you, I do like for somebody to have something. And it's not because of the boogers. It's because of the wild hogs in this area. And if you've ever seen one of these hogs, I mean, they are huge, and the tusk on them.
Yeah, I've seen videos.
And they can do some damage quick. And
yeah, we have javelina here. We don't have hogs yet. The way they're spreading around, it's just a matter of time before they're in Arizona.
Yeah,
they might already be in southern Arizona. I don't know.
And javelina, they're just a big rat, so they're related to the rat, not a pig.
It's a peccary. Yeah,
but they'll mess you up, none the same. But
yeah, they will.
I'm never armed, because I'm trying to earn trust from them, and so when I'm going, what I call going into their living room, I don't want to go in there armed. I want to be there as a guest, not an intruder. And to say that there was one time that if I would have been armed, there would have been a lot of dead dogs. We'll just put it. I had 3 packs of coyotes come in on me. But and I sit there in the dark. I have no lights, no whatsoever going. And because my son was either going to be up there that night or the following morning, and I had the fire pit ready to go, and it's a long, involved story, having to do with a lot of mind speak of, you need a fire tonight. I don't want a fire tonight. You really need a fire tonight. I don't want a fire. I'm going to sit here in the dark with you guys. You need a fire tonight, and this went on all day long, and I was just being pig-headed about it. And then I had these dogs start coming in on me, so I put about a half a gallon of gasoline on the fire pit and threw a lit branch that I threw in. And when that ball of fire went up, I saw no less than 30 dogs. And situations like that, I wish I would have had a firearm with me. But I'm not even so much worried about, we got a lot of Mexican gray wolf in the area, and I've seen a few of them, and we have cougar and bobcat and small black bears. But what I'm fearful of running into up there are the drug cartels with their illegal crop growing up there. Because they do that, and they are heavily armed, and they are very dangerous. And where my primary location is at Squatch Camp, about 3 miles as the crow flies from there, about 6 years ago, they pulled a really big marijuana grow out of there. That was a cartel grow area. So I guess the big fear I have is stupid people.
Yeah, you've got that to worry about too, because people will go in there and shake and bake crystal and stuff like that, and you don't want to run into those people either, or into somebody's crop.
Yep.
No, that's the one thing I am more afraid of out in the woods than anything else is other people. Anything else I'm not worried about.
Yeah.
Megan, you come up with these questions and I got to show it. It's just funny as hell. Question: have you heard or seen of Sasquatch making sweet love to each other?
No, but oh my God,
Megan, thank you. That's awesome.
That reminded me of
Cryptoville, good night.
Question somebody had asked on one of the very first face groups I was on. I'm not going to say which one it was because I have nothing to do with them anymore. But the question was stated that you're out in the woods and the Sasquatch comes up to you and says they need you to reproduce to, to continue their species on. Otherwise, they're going to disappear if you don't do this. What would you do? And I was like,
I think it was. I got asked a similar question recently. I think it was Overbuilt. Sound familiar? Overbuilt. He was like, it's a cold night, and you're approached by a female Bigfoot, and she wants, what do you do? Would you do this? I was like, fuck yeah.
well, the first
hey,
part,
it's cold,
Well, the first part about that is I don't think you'd have any choice over the matter. Did you say steak? Come here, boy.
All right. I'm gonna go. I only wanted to do two, but I'm gonna go put one more person up. I'm gonna bring on Ben. Ben, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you been?
Ben.
I'm good. How y'all doing, fellas?
Good.
How's everybody doing in chat?
Everybody's looking good tonight. We got a lot in chat right now. 82 in chat. That's awesome.
Oh, dude, that's great, man.
Yeah, after the show the other night when I was on with DDoS, after the show we sat backstage for a while and bullshitted, and he goes, "Well, what do you have in how many subs you got? Like 10,000?" And I just started laughing. I'm like, dude, I have like at the time it was 580.
Yeah.
And I said, he goes, oh. I said, no, but I'm pulling in 80 people in chat. He's like, what?
Yeah, man.
That's phenomenal. He goes, that tells me one thing. It's not about the subject matter. They're coming for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, dude. You're very welcoming. You're a very nice guy. You don't try to put anybody down,
Well, thank you.
It's a really welcoming atmosphere. It really is. And
I'm glad that people feel that way, and that's the way it should be. I want it that way, and people are willing to come and just hang out.
Well, if you want it that way, dude, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, man. Like I said, if you go back and look at my on the YouTube channel, if you go to the About section and you read it, it's 6 months ago or whatever it was, but it's coming to fruition. Everything I wrote down is kind of like happening, and it's pretty cool.
Well, we caught a few sockeye tonight, man. Sockeye is crappie.
Oh yeah.
We call them crappie down here.
Crappie.
Yeah, I bet you I do.
Black crappie.
Yeah,
that's some good eating.
Those are good eating, man.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, like you say walleye are better. I think crappie are better.
No, I really got turned on to walleye when I was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, dude, crappie are better, man.
But it's funny, the exact same spot I was catching walleye, I was catching crappie and bass and everything else.
Really?
Yeah, and this was in the St. Croix River in Prescott, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Just amazing fishery. I miss it.
Yeah,
don't miss the winters. I was only there for a year and a half. That was enough.
I'm on a good place right now to fish, man. Good place.
Man, I got to get out and get some fishing done. This drives me nuts. My fishing buddy, he found out what girls were, and I haven't had one since.
Yeah,
I
I'm
hear
gonna.
you, man.
I like that. The lake up on the rim up there.
Oh, no lake.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good lake.
Yeah, it
Dude,
is.
I attempted to fish over there one time.
In
But-
No Lake.
Yeah, dude, the lake it's really close to the welcome center for the Mogollon Rim.
Woods Canyon Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, it's either Woods
Oh.
Canyon Lake or
Yeah.
what's the name of that other lake that's just past there?
Fool's Hollow.
No. Fool's Hollow's in Show Low.
Okay.
It's escaping me right now. Was it a pretty good sized lake or was it a little lake?
It was decent size. It looked like a couple big ponds, really. It
It's
was,
a big fish,
it wasn't really a big lake, you know.
Yeah, it was probably Woods Canyon then.
Yeah, but when we went to go, dude, it started hailing, so we couldn't fish.
I remember one time I'd come out here when my uncle lived out here. He was down in the valley, down in Mesa, and I flew out from Jersey, and it was March. So it was like 90 degrees out. We went and did some of the lakes on the valley, like Roosevelt, and we boated and camped, and then we ended up hitting the rim. And we went. I don't remember where we went up on the rim. We were going to camp a night or two, and I went up there in shorts, and it snowed on us
I
that
did
night.
the same thing. I did the same thing.
Talk
Dude, it
about
was
a lot of
freezing.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh
Well-
my goodness.
Well, the thing a lot of people don't realize is the Mogollon Rim, it averages right about 7,000 feet in altitude. And it can get cold real quick up there.
yeah, that was my first time up there.
Man, that thing is really unforgiving. I mean, you really have to be prepared for the Mogollon Rim.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have the right
Well, you got to
clothes.
be prepared for any place you go to.
Yeah,
I'll always be
you're all right. You're all right. You're all right. So, man, I'm sorry. I've been fishing with my dad, my little boy.
Okay.
What we talking about today, man?
Hold on. Smith with no name. Oi, just because Sasquatch are a bit thin on the ground, that's no reason to discuss fishing. Mogs, is it true the LBL area is a restricted firearm zone? Anybody know that?
No, it is not.
Okay, there you go. Smith with no name.
There's drawed hunts, and then they open it up. There's certain sections of it that are no hunting sections, and that has been our strategy from day one. Is during like hunting season is to go to the non-hunting areas, because I mean we feel like that boogers are intelligent enough to know that, hey, humans don't come in here with these orange vests and orange hats and guns, and so that's where we sneak into and hike in and set up our hammocks.
Right on. Cashew Gesundheit, Boy Scout motto: always be prepared. Yeah,
That's true.
because you never know what anything could happen out there. I carry. When I'm out there, I got basically anything I need. In case of an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always go out with probably about 15 times more stuff than I ever
Then you need.
need.
Yeah. Waterproof matches in a special case, and that it's stuck in the end of the knife that you'll never use.
I don't know one of those.
No, I just inherited some knives from my cousin who passed away recently. He was over in the Tonto Basin, and there's one of those big ass survival knives in there that I'm like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And it's got a little compass that doesn't work, and a fishing kit, but it's cool.
Yeah. So,
I'm fond of blades, so.
and if have you guys seen Bigfoot? I'm just getting on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, come on. Me, no.
I've had 7 daytime sightings in the last 3 years, and I can't even begin to count how many nighttime sightings.
Where are you, dude?
I'm in Arizona, up on the
Oh,
Mogollon Rim.
okay. Okay, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I do 90% of my research, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with where Roosevelt Lake is.
No, not all the lakes, man. I don't
It's like
know.
West Phoenix. I mean, East Phoenix, or the East Valley.
Yeah, Roosevelt Lake is northeast of the Phoenix metropolitan area.
Okay.
About halfway between Apache Junction, where I live, and the Mogollon Rim. There's an area up in the mountains north of that I've done some research, and I've had a daytime sighting in there as well.
Wow.
And that's where my wife had her first sighting. So it was
Wow. Wow. What did it look like to you?
Well,
have you seen the face really well?
I've only seen the face of one of them. It was the juvenile I had a side profile of, but the one that I saw looking through the bushes at me when I got up to go take a leak, I think it was a female. I'm about 99% confident of that, because she had like female attributes to her face.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there taking a leak, and I looked up and I went, "Well, hi," and it kind of backed off just a little bit. And so I finished what I was doing, and I went around to see if I could get a better view, and there was nothing there. And so I started thinking, well, was I just seeing pareidolia? And so I went back and stood in the same exact spot where I was standing at, and there was absolutely nothing I could do to recreate that face. The rest of them that I've seen, that they're back inside the trees. My first sighting, we measured that distance at 126 yards. Did that with laser rangefinder. He was full frontal, but I couldn't see the end of the shoulders because of the trees. We're blocking the edges of the shoulders. But when we did the recreation of that one, my buddy Chuck, who's field investigator for the BFRO, he stands about 6'1", and I had no problem seeing room on both sides of his shoulders, and so we put that one right about 8 foot tall, maybe 8.5 foot, and shoulders probably 3 feet wide or better.
Okay.
The big boy that I call Indy, his footprint's 10.5 inches across at the toes, 20 at least 23 inches in length. I think closer to 25. But because of the substrate up there, the way the ground is, it's real hard to, get a full footprint. But I did see him one night under the moon. He had walked past me probably about 30, 35 yards away, and I only saw him for about a second maybe. But I was able to, the trees that were right behind him, I could only see about a foot to a foot and a half of the top of these young pine trees that are about 14 feet tall. So we estimate him at almost 11 foot. And
11 foot.
Yeah, and from from his chest to his back was close to the 3 foot mark. I'm guessing 1,800 pounds. Dude was huge. I mean, just absolutely huge, and made no more noise than a butterfly. On
the rim?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some big ones up there. One of my daytime sightings was a white one, which caught me completely off guard. I was at I don't have a name for it, and I don't want to give the actual name of it out online.
Yeah, you don't have to, man.
But I was sitting there, and this is actually the night or the day I was having the conversation in my head with them about needing to build a fire. I don't want a fire, need a fire. Just before the sun went down, I didn't shoot the distance with the rangefinder, but it's right about 100 yards. I only saw half of him as he stepped back behind a tree. And the only two options it was about an 11-foot tall white Bigfoot, or it was a polar bear. And I'm here to tell you, there's no polar bears in Arizona because he was that kind of white. I mean, he was like
Wow.
paper.
Have you ever seen anything that they consider the woo?
Oh yeah.
You asked the right person.
Oh yeah.
Could you tell me about that, or tell us about that? Or if it's redundant, you don't have to. I'll look it up.
I don't mind at all. You know, that's the only reason I have my YouTube channel, is to share what my experiences are. You know, I'm not looking for fame or notoriety or anything like that.
What's your channel? I'm sorry.
Arizona Squatch.
I got you.
Yeah, but what would be
any orbs or?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you about the first time I saw the orbs. And mind you, I don't know if you know who Travis Walton is.
Yeah, I definitely do. Absolutely. Yeah. Fire in the sky.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where he got abducted was about 6 miles as the crow flies from where I'm at.
Yeah. I know it was on the rim.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And this was back in October of 2017. And I was fairly new at doing this whole Bigfooting thing. And I had a bunch of researchers and a scientist actually from, I think it's from Sweden. I can't remember. He came, was doing some business in California and flew to Arizona, rented a truck with a camper on it, and came out because, you know, he wanted to see what this stuff was about. But the night before they all showed up, I was sitting there, and it's bottom of a coal mine dark, no moon out. And I see up in the trees what looks like brake lights shining on the trees. And I was like, what the fuck am I seeing brake lights for? And there's nobody out here. And it was about the time I said nobody is out here, this orb came out from behind the tree. And it was probably 150 yards away, 200 yards away. And at my vantage point, it was about this big around. So at the distance of what it was probably the size of a basketball, maybe a beach ball. But it was sitting there drifting around up in this inside of the tree, around the branches of the pine tree.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? And the first thing that went through my head was Travis Walton. And so I started getting concerned. But I'm watching
the sky.
And so I'm watching this red orb dance around up in the trees, and then it kind of vanished on me. And then I started seeing all these little twinkle lights, and I'm like, well, what the fuck is that? And you know, and it's like, and that's what I call them. They're like little itty bitty LEDs. Typically they're white, but I've seen green ones, I've seen red ones, and I've even seen a couple of blue ones. But they're like really bright little LEDs, and they pop on and then they go back out, or they'll come on and stay on for a little bit and drift around. And what it resembles at times is like a firefly dancing around, but we don't have fireflies up here. And, so and I'm like, well, what the fuck is that? And then that stopped for a while. Then the orb came back, was dancing around, and then it faded out. And then the little twinkle lights came back. Well, at the same time, all this is going on. I've got branch breaks going on. I got stomps going on. I got little going on at me. And And I was completely taken back by it.
That's
Um,
that's pretty
oh,
crazy.
oh, that's not even close to crazy.
There's more.
Jeez.
Oh Lord.
How much time you got, brother?
Yeah.
For me? Well, I'm good.
Yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
good. I
There's
got
more.
plenty time.
But
I know about.
before we get back into more, somebody's asking Mark a question, and I just want to throw it out there. What's the closest you have been to one, Mark?
Well, the honest answer is the one that I saw through the thermal, which was about 70 feet away. But in my opinion, I have been closer than that. I just didn't put eyeballs on them, because when you can smell them and hear them and having things thrown at you, then I felt like that they were closer than 70 feet, especially when you can smell them. And you can't always smell them. And I can't explain that. I don't know if it's glands or if it's the if I'm upwind from them or downwind from them. I don't know. But the only one that I can say, because I saw it with my eyes, was about 70 feet away.
Yeah. As far as the smell, I've only smelled one time, and it kind of got me off guard because it was the smell of a dead rotting flesh, and I was packing up, leaving my location, but I was going
Yes,
to be
Richie.
back up there in a couple of days, and so when I got back up there, I scoured that area for hours looking for a carcass of a dead elk, a dead bear, something that threw that smell off, and there was literally nothing around. So that's the only time I can say that, that I may have smelled them.
What's funny about smelling them is you will all of a sudden smell something, and it will be just rank, and then all of a sudden the smell will go away. And we had one night that, you don't smell nothing, and then 30 minutes later you smell something, and you may smell it for 45 seconds and it goes away.
You think it's like a
just passing through?
Yeah.
You think it's like something that can turn on and off, like a gland, like skunks?
Yeah.
I would tend to say yes.
Okay.
Because I've heard so many accounts of it, and you have to take that into the equation.
Yeah.
Just because out of over 6,000 hours, I've only had a smell of something dead once. Wow. It's got to be something that they can do at their own choosing.
Yeah.
I have no doubt they have that ability. Or the other thing could be they ate something that didn't get along with them and they got gas.
I mean, but with the amount of times that people say that they smell them first, I don't think it would be the gas thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't think it's gas either. I was just being facetious.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, I've got a good story about smell, and I didn't actually smell it, but me and Larry, I was speaking at a conference in Oklahoma, and everybody was camped out at the research area, and we just don't do that. We like to go off into the woods and get away from everybody.
Yeah.
Sling up hammocks and sleep in hammocks. Well, when we got to the area, we were just exhausted. And Larry was at his hammock, and I was about 25 feet away at my hammock. And a vocalization happened down at the creek, which was about 40 yards from us. And it was one of those that you hear people talking about that you can feel it inside your chest.
Oh, yeah.
If you would have put your hand up on a tree, you could have felt the vibration. You could have felt it on a tree.
Yeah.
But we were just exhausted. And I remember looking towards him, and we just had headlamps on, and he looked at me, and we just crawled in our hammocks and went to bed. Well, that night, I sleep pretty sound, but Larry woke up, not to the sound of noise, but he woke up because of a stench, a smell.
Wow. A smell.
And that's what woke him up. And he grabbed his FLIR, and when he went to turn, he heard something bipedal running off. Now, the backstory to that is we feel like that whatever this was hurt Larry's breathing change, going from sleeping unconscious to the normal being woke up breathing. And I had an audio recorder going, and there were things being thrown at us. And then you would hear steps, like something moving up. It was like it was sitting there throwing sticks and rocks to see if we would wake up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and exactly getting closer and closer. So he was right up on top of Larry, we feel like, by what Larry heard when it ran off, and then where the audio recorder was set up. And so that just kind of makes you think you're sitting there sleeping in a hammock, basically like a human burrito. And you've got something coming up on you.
A convenient wrapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait until you get touched. When I know the weather's going to be good, I sleep outside on a cot. And the very first time I did that, and I was not mentally prepared. I thought I was, but I was not mentally prepared for what had happened. It was about 32 degrees outside, so I've got one sleeping bag stuffed inside another one, and then I got my Woobie over the top of me, and I'm sleeping on my cot. And I don't know if you've ever been in a helicopter before, but when a helicopter lifts off, you get this weird sensation that you're fighting gravity. It's
strange.
It's different than an airplane.
Yes, it is.
And so the head of my sleeping bag is like it got pinched shut, and I could feel what felt like the cot being lifted up, and it felt like forward motion. For a few seconds, I thought I was being carried off through the forest, because that's what it felt like, is that they were hauling ass through the forest with me, but it's not like I was bouncing. It was a smooth glide. And I kept in my head going, Indy, put me down. Indy, put me down. Because I couldn't move my arms. I couldn't move my legs. Was kind of paralyzed. I could think fine. I couldn't talk out loud, but I could think fine. And I kept saying, Indy, put me down, because that's what I call the alpha male up there. And then I felt what felt like the cot being set back down. And I was literally shaking inside my sleeping bag. I was terrified. And I wanted to take my head out of the sleeping bag, but I was too afraid to take my head out of the sleeping bag at that point in time. But I could hear him walk away, and I sat there for about, I don't know, probably about 5 minutes, and finally had to pee. So I got up, and it was just starting to get light outside. The sun hadn't come up, but it was starting to get light out, and the birds were just barely starting to chirp. And so I got the coffee pot on, lit the fire, and sat there and, tried to wrap my head around what had just happened. And I went back over to my cot because I had the center leg of my cot on a rug. So when I get up, I'm not putting my feet on the bare ground. And from where the cot was to where it was when I woke up, you can tell it was off by about 1/4 of an inch.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I can't say that I did get lifted. I can't say that I ran through the forest, but that was the sensation that I felt. And my cot was not in the same exact spot. It was off by about 1/4 inch.
All right, Arizona, I got to ask you something, man.
Shoot.
I went back and watched Mogion's, some of his episodes.
Yeah.
And I am very curious about the meteoroids. Meteorites.
Yeah.
Yes, meteorites. I'm very curious about that.
Okay. They're coming.
Buckle up.
No way, huh? For real?
Yeah, they're coming. I got to be very, very cautious of how I say this.
I understand.
Because everything I put up on my YouTube channel about it has mysteriously vanished. So
Disappeared, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not fuck with mine.
Yeah. What I can tell you is the government has known about this since 1978. We're entering an area of space that is extremely hazardous.
The Earth is?
Well, our entire solar system is, because, our solar system doesn't sit there and rotate around the sun stagnant in outer space. It's traveling, through space.
It's always moving. Yep.
And what we're getting ready to enter into, the last conversation I had with this individual, he said, think of it like a hurricane, how hurricanes have the outer bands. And so as the hurricane gets closer, you'll start getting, real light wind, a breeze, you'll start getting sprinkles, and you might get a little bit of rain, and then it calms down, and then as another band comes in. Well, that's what we're going to be entertaining over about the next 2 years. The phrase meteor storm is going to become as common language as social distancing.
Yeah.
Let's praise wrong.
Yeah, I hope.
Yes, I am. I definitely am.
Yeah, and the contacts that I have that are giving me this information, I have no reason to doubt them. One of them, one of his contacts is one of President Trump's advisors. He's actually been in the White House since the Reagan era. There's another contact. Yeah, another contact coming out of the Department of Defense. Another one is a FEMA engineer. There's a lot of information that is floating around out there, but there's also a lot of disinformation.
This is one of the shittiest news, the shittiest things I've ever heard. I hope
if it's true, dude. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
And there's nothing, but there's nothing you can do about it. Don't lose sleep
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Don't even sweat it.
No, I mean, exactly.
There's nothing you can do.
Nothing I can do about it. But it does suck to hear. It really does suck.
I know I'm on the FEMA list. From what I understand, I get a free bus ride when it hits the fan.
Right.
Hey, dude, I'm sorry to tell you, but FEMA ain't bringing you shit. Nothing.
Oh, they're
we went
taking
through
me somewhere.
Oh, dude, we went through Katrina, and FEMA didn't do shit. So
Yeah.
if they can't do anything with a hurricane, they're not going to be able to do anything with meteor showers. They're not going to be able to. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Man, I hope you're not right, but I mean, I don't have any reason to doubt you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I just hope that.
if that information is coming from those higher ups, in that administration, the White
Absolutely.
House, then
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it's not just the meteors that are going to be, that's just part of the issue.
It's going to be
The
a
other-
reaction to it, right?
no.
Well, the storms.
Hold on to those masks.
Okay, you've already seen precursors to it. This derecho storm that blew across Iowa, across the Midwest, 140-mile-an-hour straight line winds. Those are going to become more frequent.
Okay.
Tectonic plate displacement is going to become more frequent, more powerful.
Some more earthquakes. Got it.
Yeah.
Those wildfires seem to be more frequent right now.
Right?
It's so dry out here, dude.
Yeah.
California, Arizona, everybody's dry. Utah, I mean, this was the driest in 10 years. This was the driest monsoon season I've seen.
This is the driest monsoon season I've seen in 52 years.
I can't believe y'all even call it monsoons.
Yeah.
It's dry out there. It's a tinderbox.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm just checking chat. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so as far as all that stuff goes, all I can say is, love your friends more, love your family more, show as much love as you can, because
do what you should be doing anyway.
Yeah,
you don't need an excuse like imminent death, but
be a decent person. Yeah. You're right.
It's not hard to look around the planet right now and see everything is in chaos.
Oh, you are right. Yeah, absolutely right about that. Yeah.
And it's kind
I
of
won't expound about that, but I mean, it is, dude. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's.
But it's good that we can get together and laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But it gets people's mind off of what's going on, in the world today, and that's was another reason I started this show is just to help,
Well, dude, you did a damn good thing, because Bigfoot really gets my mind off of all of this garbage that's going around right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right now on chat, they're talking about thongs.
That's another reason why I've spent over 6,000 hours out in the field in the last 3 years. It's just society sucks. I get out there and everything just gets to go bye-bye. I get to become one with nature, and
it seems like everything has just crumbled lately.
Yep.
Crumbled. Society seems like it has crumbled.
And if you're worried about like the meteor thing, and I'm kind of doing it myself, is pay attention. I guess there's got to be something out there that'll tell you where meteors are. Or if we get hit, you'll hear about these strikes every so often. So if you see an increase in it at all, maybe there's some credence to what he said. Just everybody out there, just pay attention.
I will.
And be safe, of course.
Yeah.
But don't lose sleep over it. This is, like I said, it's if something that catastrophic is going to happen, it's out of our control.
You are right about that. You're right.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
And the wisdom, what is it? A wisdom of the difference.
The courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between them.
Yeah.
I
haven't heard that in a while.
You don't have control over it. It's and that's why I cut all my field time down as much as I have, because I have to spend more time with my wife. I have to spend more time with my kids, my grandkids. I got 12 and a half grandkids. I got one that's going to be here in April. And, and I got a lot of friends that, I need to get some time spent with them too, just in case, because, we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised an hour from now. and
Right.
that's what a lot of people seem to forget.
Meteors might come.
Well,
No, it's a matter of taking life for granted, and too many people do. I did it for a long time.
Yeah.
I had an addiction. I was an alcoholic, and that's all that mattered. And I wasted a lot of time. But when I did stop drinking, shit turned around. And it was
Man,
a beautiful thing.
at least you faced it.
I had no choice. I'd be dead.
Oh, all right.
Straight up, I'd be dead. If I had one more drink, I wouldn't be here right now. I believe that.
I hear you.
So here we are, and it's all good. Everybody goes through shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Everybody
kill you, it
do.
makes you stronger, and it's true.
Yeah. You're
And,
right. That's good.
he's quoting that prayer. There's another, from if you ever did an AA program or NA or whatever, there's a lot of different sayings, and this too shall pass. I believe that wholeheartedly. Shit happens, but just hang on. It'll go by. You'll get through it. Anyway, I'm babbling.
Nothing wrong with a little babble.
No. But yeah, it's late, guys.
Yeah.
We've been at this over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I'm so thankful that you guys, showed up. I think it was a good show tonight. There was a lot of different things talked about, and
give and take. Definitely.
yeah, I hope. And guys, if we missed questions, I'm going to scroll up real quick, and we'll try to get some in. Who has a toothache remedy? Cloves. Let's see what else. I don't see. I might have missed some questions, but you know what, guys, we'll be here on Thursday. I'll be here. Even ask the questions in comments if you really want to have a question that you need answered. Drop it down below in comments, and I know usually the guests do look at the comments. But yeah, guys, I want to thank everybody for showing up. Kevin, Ben, Mark,
man.
awesome,
Thank you for having me, bro. Thank you for having
my
me.
pleasure. Anytime,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Hit that like button.
Yes.
Hit that thumbs up button. Leave a comment that helps with
and if you're
YouTube
new, subscribe.
recommendations, subscribe.
Yeah, they know that.
Don't cost no money.
They know it's free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right on. I'm gonna say goodnight to all you guys. One by one. I'm just gonna, unless you guys want to step out, I'm gonna click you off. Kevin, good night. Thank you so much. Cut him off. Oops.
Thanks again, brother.
Hey, Ben, anytime, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, man.
Talk to you soon.
You too.
Wow. I don't know about you guys. I thought that was a good show. Good guests. Thanks for coming on, guys. You guys always come through. I'm still going to start planning my shows like I used to, because, it seems responsible, because I can't always rely. I mean, well, you haven't failed me yet, but yeah, I have some emails I sent out, and hopefully I'll hear back and have some guests for some upcoming shows. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. You were over 80 in chat. That's incredible. Fantastic. Thank you. I get goosebumps, really, because it's just Duke. Thank you so much, man. Duke says good show, Mogs. Stan, thank you. Everybody, amazing. You guys are awesome. I can't thank my chat enough for being, as kind and cool as you are. I have never heard a bad thing about our chat. I hear compliments about, in comments, people compliment the chat. So awesome job, guys. Anyway, I will see you guys on Thursday night. Nothing planned right now, so it could be a little bit of the same. But we'll see you then. And until then, you guys take care, be safe, and peace and God bless. Talk to you soon.